And the Lord said, Simon, 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 behold, Satan hath desired to have you, that he may sift you as wheat. But I have prayed for thee, that thy faith fail not. When thou art converted, strengthen thy brethren. Lord, I want to come from subject matter, the enemy who will not rest. The enemy who will not rest. Simon, Simon, Peter, Peter. The devil desires to sift you as wheat. Ushers, you may be seated and take a load off. Beat, you're good unless you're happy standing. To sift you as wheat, but I prayed for you that your faith fail not. When you're converted, strengthen your brethren. St. Luke, Gospel of Luke, Gospel according to Luke, has written the Gospel of Luke. Just let me walk this before I get excited. Has written the Gospel of Luke with us having a specific understanding. Luke wrote the book of Luke for the Gentiles, which is where we come from. Normally, with the book of Matthew that traces the genealogy of Christ, starting from the Old Testament into the New Testament, tracing his lineage, how Jesus wound up, tracing through 42 generations to bring him about, come Matthew. Luke writes it differently. It's interesting because when Luke writes it, Lady Jalisa, he writes it so that the Gentiles do not feel left out, because everybody else wrote to the Jews. The Jews are the rightful heir because Jesus was Jewish. And the Gentiles did not have a place in the Jewish lineage. So Jesus said, I came to my own, and my own received me not. But to many as believe. So it changes the structure of the Jews now, because it brings in the Gentile race, where we get all of the ugliness of being a Samaritan. Half and half. Luke writes so that we understand things did not begin with Abraham like the other three Gospels will write. You've got to go beyond Abraham. Things start with Adam. Everybody is already connected. Missed. The other three Gospels start out talking about who is from Israel. If we go with that, then none of us are accepted. But Luke puts it on saying that even Abraham, where the Jews get their bouginess from, that I am somebody special because I am a part of Israel, Luke says that ain't good enough. I want you to understand that we are all connected by one man. It goes back to the book of Genesis, where God made one man and then took the woman out of the man and everybody else began. We do have the land of Nod where Cain ended up going, where they were frozen. But that has nothing to do with how God generated from the man, because Cain came from the first man. Had there not been the first man, God would have no need of throwing out anybody else that was still frozen. But you look at somebody and tell them, I belong here. I need you to be able to say this with all faith and justification, because people within the kingdom would have you to believe that if you are from a certain past, you don't belong in church. You have gone certain roads, traveled certain streets, gone through certain homes, gone through certain rituals, have had certain characteristics, then you do not belong in God's house. But I want you to understand that even Jesus comes from the man who messed. Y'all a little slow on the uptake. Let me work for a little while. Because nobody that comes to God can come from a past that is perfect. People would have you believe, no, once you get saved, you let go of the story. But it is my story of where I come from that makes the story so powerful. I didn't have tragedy and drama and thrillers going through my past, even since I've been saved, then I could not stand up before you now as who I am and tell you that I have a right to be in God's house based upon the fact that the first man he made failed. But he made another man. Why won't y'all push a preacher? Nudge the neighbor and say, neighbor, it's going to get tough today. Is here we recognize that the beginning seems beautiful, but it's actually ugly. Let us make man. Forms man from the dust. But the man he forms, we're going to talk. Falls. I know church don't like to talk about falling. Look how tired it is. We don't like to talk about coming up short. We love celebrating the goodness of God, but we don't like to talk about how God was merciful when we fail. But I got to bring it up today so I won't get used to it. Everybody in here, under the sound of my voice, from the head to the back door, done fail. Oh, it's tired, but I got to plow for a happy birthday, but let me plow for a little while. Another neighbor and say, neighbor, God has been merciful. Luke wants us who are here now to understand. He emphasizes the point throughout the book of Luke that humans were sinners when they started and have, oh God, I'm thinking of all the big words. I don't want to use those as much as I normally do. Has the potential to sin again. And yet, the God that saved Luke, that sent Jesus to pull Luke, the physician, off of his MD job and pull him and make him a fisher of men. That just like he saved me as a sinner, he is still saving today. I know you don't really understand that. None of us that are in here now can hide from God. We can smile and we can carry titles and positions, and people look up or they look down, doesn't really matter. But at the end of the day, God knows the truth. At the end of the day, the reason I praise like I praise and worship like I worship and pour out all I can is because I understand God didn't have to. God, I wish I had real talk with God. I said, God didn't. You ain't that good. You ain't that special. You're not that smart. You're not that influential. You're not that impactful that God had to choose you. The old folk used to say he didn't have to do it, but he did. I wish I had some real folk in here that would talk back to me and thank God for doing what other folk get mad that he did for you. It's here we begin anchoring as we look at St. Luke 22, because there are some feelings and emotions that are in St. Luke 22. Jesus is now getting ready to be taken from judgment hall, as they say, to judgment hall. Getting ready to be crucified. He has gone through all of the Last Supper before he passed. Told them, this is my body, this is my blood. Broken bread together with them. He's talked with them. He shared with them. They reminisce. That was the culture. When it is time for him to begin to leave, he says to Peter, you're not going to find this anywhere else but Luke. He says to Simon, 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 the devil desires to sift you as wheat. Jesus is emotional here. I promise we'll get there safe. He is emotional here because Peter, whose name is Petrus, is a part of the plan of God. I need you to hear me really good now. Peter is a part of the plan of God, but does not know the part he is going to play. God, I really wish I could present this. Have you ever come to church and you feel God, but you don't know what to do with what you're feeling? I got a few that are talking. You jumped, you ran, you screamed, you hopped, you cried, you look retarded because you still feel fire on you, but you don't know. Peter is of the opinion wherever Jesus goes, I'm going. Wherever Jesus has an assignment, I'm going to be at the assignment. He is going nowhere without. This is the man that let me walk on water, and I'm the only one to the day that walks. I wish I had a church that would talk to me. This is the man that told me drop my net on the other side, and I already know how to fish. He ain't never fished, but told me how to fish. I'm not going to let him out of my sight. Jesus says, Peter, Peter, Simon, Simon, the devil desires. Lord, I wish I had good prayer warriors. I can see I'm going to have to really work this. The devil desires to sift you as wheat. But I prayed for you. This is where the problem comes in. Because Peter now becomes emotional because Jesus is emotional. Now you got to keep in mind, after Jesus gave Peter the keys, Jesus has to go to work, and Peter says no, and Jesus says find me a church that read that Bible. Get thee behind me. This is the same individual who says, now I will not let anybody touch you. I'm going to protect you. I'm going to watch over you. And he said, no. You're part of the plan, but not like you think. I want to bother somebody in here. I got to be nice today. I want to bother somebody in here. Look at somebody and tell them you're a part of God's plan. But you don't understand how God is going to use you. Peter never thought in all of his time with Jesus that he would be likened to Judas. Judas turned him in and you acted like you never knew him. I'm not sure who's worse here in the story. I'm not sure. You acted like you never knew me. You don't want to be bothered with me. It's a quiet church, but I'm going to finish my job today. I got to work. Look at somebody and tell them, don't play games. Act like you know who you are. And act like you know who I am. Simon. I know I'm getting ready to go to the cross, and the last thing I want to say to you is the devil is after you. But please understand the term you in Greek is plural. So when he says, Simon, Simon, the devil desires to sift you, he is talking about all of them. I know normally we just talk about Peter. You know, the devil's after Peter. I want to serve notice in here, the devil's after every last one of us. I know you ain't going to talk about it. You want to hide it. You want to dance. You want to shout. You want to scream. You want to holler. You want to celebrate. But please understand there is an enemy that will not quit. That is after us day and night. And while you're sleeping, he's scheming. Thank you for talking to me. Look at somebody and tell them we can't let the devil get away with this. We can't let the devil shun. I told my whole I got to find me a church that's ready for resurrection. I said we can't let the devil, because the issue we have going on is too many things have gone unchecked. But we want to handle it with our flesh. Anger ain't gonna move this baby. I gotta get out of here. I said anger ain't gonna move this. Your opinion is not gonna move this. We wrestle not against. God, I'm gonna find me a church that'll holler back at me. You can't get nothing with your mouth closed. Closed mouth don't get fed. Tell a neighbor the devil is after you. He wants me. Yeah, I'm on hell's most wanted list. Because he knows that I am a critical part of God's plan being fulfilled in kingdom. I got to get out of here. Somebody in here has got to understand that the attack on your life, regardless of its form, is not based upon who you are. It's based upon what you are to the kingdom. If there was no value, the devil would rob. Your job is to serve and praise and worship and minister. But you done took it upon yourself to try to be God's bestie. Now you want to know what God knows and how God gonna do it and when God gonna do it and who he's gonna use to do it. Simon, I'm talking to you, but I'm talking to everybody at this table. There's 12 of you here, and one of y'all ain't gonna make it. Who can I talk to in here? Because the devil's desire is to sift you. Oh, I wish I had a church that could hear me. Tell somebody the devil doesn't just want to grab you, But he wants to shake you up till everything about you breaks apart. Whenever, I'm trying not to keep this too long, but whenever you feel and experience emotions that are causing you to ask yourself, have you reached your limit? I've taken all I can take. That was the last straw. I'm not going back. I'm not going to put up with it. I'm not going to deal with it. It's not worth it. I can go somewhere else. I'm going to find me a church that'll let me talk like God is here. I need you to understand that your emotions are open and available for the adversary to manipulate your mind. We sing songs and then turn around and work against it. Nobody told me that the road would be easy. And then we turn around and want a life with God in kingdom that's easy. Tell somebody, stop being weak-minded. Well, I need to find me a church that'll minister while I'm there. I said, holler at somebody real good, minister over their life and tell them, no more weak-mindedness. I command your mind to be sober. You're too drunk on what's wrong. I said, tell somebody, I got to work for this. God put good seed into good ground. But I got to cultivate it. I was saying when Jesus was telling the parable, the farmer went out and sowed seeds. But during the night, I got a few talkers. During the night, his enemy, adversary, came and sowed tares. Lord, give me a church I can talk to. The worker said, Lord, we got to do something. This ain't right. He said, let it go. Let the wheat and the tare. Get it out, get it out, get it out, get it out. But it ain't done growing yet. He said, I'll do the separate. Yeah, I know we're trying to rush it. They don't like it, mother, but I got to finish this one. They want to do the job that God said he don't do. You can't even cultivate righteousness, and you're telling God what don't need to be here. That don't belong in church. They don't belong in church. They got too much dog in them. They got too much cat in them. They got too much wild animal in them. But you can't see the mirror. You're a whole jungle by yourself. There's an issue we must face. That is, the people of God never have to worry. Have I reached my limit? I just need like 10 talkers in here that are talking, not nod at me. Tell somebody, I have not reached my limit. There were times I thought I did. Oh, I got to find me real folk. They don't want a real message, but I'm going to finish my job. There were times I thought I was like way up here with stuff. You broke my last nerve, and that was the straw that broke the camel's back, the elephant's trunk. Oh, but I found out I could take more than I thought. But I'm not the one that measures out what I've got to go through. Give me a church that'll push me to preach. Another neighbor and tell them, you're not measuring out what you're going through. God is measuring out what you're dealing with. And if God is measuring out what you're dealing with, then you haven't reached your limit. Because he won't put no more on you. God have mercy, then you can bear another neighbor and tell them you can take it. You can deal with it. You can go through it. It ain't going to kill you like you thought. I can break the limit. Jesus says, Simon, the devil desires to sift you. know anything about weak, and I'm going to try not to make this long and drawn out as possible, but I got to deal with it. Look at somebody and tell them, you don't know how weak you are in your flesh until obstacles and challenges pop up. I was talking to God as he was opening up my mind to deal with this evangelism. He said, I need my people to understand that the enemy knows you got a weakness. Some of y'all gonna stay quiet, right? You act like your phone is that important, please. I said, the devil knows you got a weakness. Let no man say he is tempted of God, but every man is enticed and drawn away by his own lust, which means there are things that I would desire, and I have to be careful if they go against kingdom commandment. I know some folk can do it and God does nothing, just lets them go on about their merry way. If I even attempt to find some solace and comfort and joy in my desire, God comes down hard on me like I'm the only one. But you can't get mad when God comes down. You got to tell God thank you. I got to find me a church that'll push me. I said, you got to tell God thank you, because you still find value while I'm looking at my faults and failures. I'm looking at where I came up short, where I didn't meet the mark, where you're not happy with me. But I need to focus that you didn't throw me. I know you can't testify in here because you know church folk will judge you. They'll judge you. Yes, Lord, I say it for the third time. They'll judge you. But I'm in here to tell you this is a judgment-free zone, and only them that are judging is really judging themselves. And you can't throw mud at somebody without getting mud on yourself. Another neighbor in here and say they were judgment-free. It ain't my job to judge you. Judge not that you be not judged, but you already know them. Issue here is, I need you to understand that the devil knows you got a weakness. And he's waiting for the time where you think you've reached your limit dealing with kingdom. God, I got to get out of here, but I got to finish this. It is critical now that we really begin to understand how God operates. He wants us to understand that the devil operates on a permission slip. I got to find a church that'll push me, Mike. The devil operates on a permission slip. Anything that belongs to God that he wants to tamper with, he has to get permission. He can't fool with it without God's acknowledgement. He couldn't do it with Job. He couldn't do it with Joseph. I got to find me a church that'll talk. He couldn't do it with David. And every time you look through scripture, wherever the devil showed up, God has something. So what makes you think you are any different? That when the devil comes to aggravate you and agitate you and bother you, that he doesn't have permission